shift, bass hit, neck snap, true talk, no fluff, heat rise, act up, step tight, step clean, eyes lock, scene mean, just Jackson Guest. Feel that beat drop, chest pump, don't stop, just Jackson Guest. Here comes fire, here comes heat, no retreat, on this beat, just Jackson Guest. Just Jackson Guest. Just Jackson Guest. Boom shakalaka boom shakalaka boom 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 boom.
Mind flip, spine stiff, word cut, gift shift, talk slick, move quick, clock tick, don't blink.
Just Jackson Guest.
More love with backbone, more safety, full grown, more respect when it's earned, more clients return, more stacks, more flow, more peace that we grow, more health in the grind, more wealth in the mind, more cheers from the crowd, more strong women loud, more worth that you feel, more power made real. Yeah, just Jackson Guest. Here comes fire, here comes heat, no retreat, on this beat, just Jackson Guest. Just Jackson Guest. Boom shakalaka boom shakalaka boom.
Boom shakalaka boom. Hey boom boom. Boom shakalaka boom. Hey boom boom. Boom shakalaka boom. Boom shakalaka boom. Hey boom shakalaka boom shakalaka boom. Hey boom shakalaka boom shakalaka boom. Boom shakalaka boom. Boom shakalaka boom shakalaka boom. Hey boom shakalaka boom.
Kick bounce, hi-hat, run, shoulders roll, sun up, baseline, waistline, heat rise, no decline. Just Jackson Guest. Boom shakalaka boom 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 boom. More love with backbone, more sun, boom boom. When it go, when it run, don't run to the turn, more stacks, more flow, more blast in the turn, more just no pin, more shirt. More stacks in the crowd, more strong, more loud, more worth that you feel, more power made real.
Yeah, more drive, no style, more rise, stand tall, more force, no fear, more shit this year, yeah.
Just Jackson Guest.
Boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka.
And just like that, we are on another Just Jackson Guest. It's Monday night, the second Monday of June, which means it is the second Monday of Pride Month. If you have never been on Just Jackson Guest, you've never watched us, this is all about making the world a better place, getting diverse voices out there, being inclusive, dropping the stigma of so much. And tonight we are dropping some stigma about recovery and about mental wellness and about animals and all the cool things. And of course, I have to support my people in their celebration of Pride. We had our Pride event here in my town on Saturday, and it was fabulous. One of the most attended events in our community, the happiest, the less stress. There was no crankiness, there was no drama, there was nothing. And I had an interesting talk with somebody that is not against supporting Pride, but says there's no reason for them to celebrate somebody's lifestyle that they don't believe in. And I said, it is not celebrating a lifestyle. It is saying you deserve to live and you matter no matter what your lifestyle is about. And until we can treat all humans with respect, we need these supportive months for everything. We have Second Chance months. We have Black History Month. We have Women's International Month. We have all the things to support other humans, and you deserve to support other humans too. So thank you for being on the show. My guests tonight are so amazing. It's going to be just a minute or two, and I will bring them on stage. If you have never seen this before, you can go on and you can actually write questions to the guests. Now, we have Lindsay and Nick that'll be on tonight in just a few minutes. Now, do you have any guesses who's going to go first? Do you think I'll bring Lindsay up first? Do you think I'll bring Nick up first? I don't know, because some of y'all on my LinkedIn land, you've probably never met them before. You've probably never seen them. I've posted about their animals before because I try to volunteer out there, and I just love them to death. They're just great humans, and you're going to love them so much too as well. But guys, there are so many awesome people already in the house. We have Dear Sharito is in the Philippines watching us right now. We have Bobby Lee that's in the house. We have Annie's in the UK. Guys, did you know the show is global? When you think about how much we're able to bring people from all over together, it's amazing. It's spectacular. I am so thankful to have my dear friends Jason and Steven in the house. We have got so many great people. Guys, it is a special day as well, because not only are you going to get to meet some of my amazing friends, you're going to love them. You're really going to love them. We have somebody near and dear to us, Nicole Galindo, that I totally screwed up her last name. It's her birthday today. I love this woman so much. She also has a publishing company. She was just in another live a minute ago talking about mental health. She is a huge mental health woman, and it is not only her birthday today, tomorrow, she is launching her second book in a series on We Are More Than Our Diagnoses. So it is all about different people that have had some kind of a diagnosis that are giving back to the world to say, I matter, you matter too, even if you don't have the specific diagnoses, you want that. So happy birthday, Nick. Thank you for being here. I told you, you don't need to celebrate with us tonight. You could be hanging out with that hubby and getting to bed early and all the good things, because tomorrow is launch day. Check out her live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're going to want to see it. So many great co-authors in the book, some people that I already have had as guests on here, some that will be guests. She will have the co-authors coming in a couple weeks, so I'm super excited for that as well. And then I want to just say two more things, and then I'm going to get the guests on because I know you're waiting for them, and I can't wait to bring them up. Jairus, I see you. I see Kenny Dunner. I see so many awesome people here. Of course, David Causey's here. Thank you guys for being here. You're going to want to hear these two. It is going to be amazing. As always, thank you, William Rochelle, for that amazing intro. And I have the outro coming soon. He also does a show right at 10 o'clock or as soon as this goes off. And you'll want to wind down with him if you have time to stay back to back after this. On Friday, we had the launch of an amazing new show here in my hometown area of West Michigan that is called West Michigan Tonight. Awesome man from my hometown, John Covington, is our first ever late night talk show host. He started this, he had a vision, and he implemented it. His first episode aired on Friday. It is 11:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can get it right on your phone. You can get it on an app called 13 on Your Side, and you can just watch it right on time. That was the first episode, the very last Friday of the month. This person is going to be on as one of the guests of his show. So I'm super excited about that. So check it out if you can. You can always watch it on replay as well. And the next thing I want to share is 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today, I get to donate my kidney. I am so excited. If you haven't been following my journey, if you don't know about what's been going on, I've been going through the process since October. And all we have to do is next Monday, we send in one more sample of blood from both of us. Make sure he's not going to reject me one more time. And we are good to go. So if you are out there willing to send some good juju, some prayers, some positive vibes our way, that number one, everything goes off without a hitch, that the surgeons are safe during our procedures, and that everybody with germs stay away from us so we don't get sick before this. I'm actually going into quarantine next week. So if you know me in person, I'm super social. Today I was at an event with way too many people, so I actually wore my mask. You may not see me give the hugs this week. You may see me stand away a little bit more, because our health makes such a difference in our world, and being able to be healthy enough to do this for somebody else, it helps me out a lot. So I am going to take my headpiece off, not because I'm not only going to celebrate Pride for a couple minutes, but because I don't want it to be too distracting, because I want you to focus on my guests. They are amazing. They are, oh my gosh. If you read my LinkedIn post, I did not do this on Facebook because I didn't want them to laugh at me. They look like the ultimate Ken and Barbie. I'm not even going to lie. I was so intimidated the first time I met Lindsay. It was like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. She's so beautiful. And oh my gosh, I don't know even how to talk to her. She is the most beautiful soul you will ever see. It's not just outside beauty, it's that inside beauty. And when you see them together, they're even more cute. So did anybody guess if you think it's going to be Lindsay or Nick coming on stage? Have you guessed yet? So usually when I do this show, it's two guests. Usually they don't even have a clue who the person is going to be on the show with them until they actually come live on the show, or if they see the event. Sometimes they see that as well. But tonight is a little different. So I'm trying to see, have we had any comments? Do you think it's going to be Nick? Do you think it's going to be Lindsay coming on stage? I'm not sure if anybody is guessing yet, but I am going to prove you all wrong, because guess what? They are coming on stage right now, and they're doing it together because I love them so much. Here they go. Look at my beautiful friends.
Hi, guys.
We thought it was going to be Lindsay.
I have sweaty hands. I was hoping it was not going to be Lindsay.
Were you kind of like, oh my gosh, is she only going to show half the camera? What's going on? I thought we were on here together.
Well, the intro with you, I thought you were going to somehow have her walk out and like do all the stuff.
I guarantee my friend William Rochelle in the comments could make her just join me on that. If you watch the intro, he puts me on a runway and I'm in all these cool dresses. Lindsay, you could be rocking them right along with me, girl. Oh my gosh, I just love you two humans so much. So if you haven't noticed in the comments, there are people that maybe you're not aware of. There's people coming in from YouTube, people coming in from Facebook, people from LinkedIn. And I get to know a lot of these humans because we interact on LinkedIn often and in different other people's events like this. So this is kind of new for you, seeing some of these people that are near and dear to me as well. But you guys are near and dear in my hometown, and I get to hug you both, and I get to play with your animals, and I get to see you at all these powerful community events because you two give back so much. You do so many cool things. And it is an honor that you were willing to come on my show because you guys are so busy. So busy. So we're going to jump in, and I start off with questions for every guest just to kind of start people getting to know you before they hear about your business and your mission and all the cool things. And I know Nick likes to talk almost as much as I do. So I'm going to let Lindsay go first with my first question.
I always love that because when I met Lindsay, she wasn't like an introvert, but like to get up on stage or to talk in front of people or to do this, like would have never happened. So it was always me. Like I'd have to come home from work and, walk all the people around and do all the stuff. And now she's a rock star. So
she is a rock star, and she has walked a runway because I saw it at Fashion and Frolic the other day. And she's lovely. All right, Miss Lindsay.
Yes.
It is so important for us to take care of ourselves. And part of that is reminding ourselves how amazing we are and how great we are and how we've survived and how we've thrived and all the things. So can you pick two things that you're willing to share with our audience that you are proud of yourself of, that you have done a very good job? And now don't be saying it's finding Nick, okay? Don't be doing that because that's a whole nother story. Just you, Miss Lindsay.
Well, so a little bit of my story is I went through some pretty intense traumas in 2021, 2022. And I really became like almost reclusive, where I would drop my kids off at school. I'd go home and I worked from home. I'd sit on the couch. I didn't want to do anything. And one day I woke up and I was like, I'm not going to live like this anymore. I'm going to start being comfortable, being uncomfortable. And every day that was like my mantra. And now I can't even believe that my life is where it is now because I put myself in so many uncomfortable situations. And part of that uncomfortableness led me to meeting Nick too, and us being on this path. So that's a big thing for me. And I think just being out in the community, I've always been like, don't look at me. I like to be, I don't like to be the center of the attention like Nick does. So putting myself in situations too, where I have to have people look at me, even when people come out to the ranch and it's groups of people and I have to talk in front of them, that's always been super uncomfortable. So I'm pretty proud of myself for meeting a lot of amazing people and being able to, get past that uncomfortableness to bring something cool to our community and be able to share our space with the community.
Oh, that is so powerful. And, Nick kind of outed you that you were not somebody that wanted to really be in the limelight and everything. And I tell you guys, I see this woman in two different ways. She is either dressed like a glamour girl because she is at one of these fancy events, or we do a really cool women's group together and a whole bunch of other stuff, or she is in farm attire and she got her little shit kickers on and she is not afraid to get dirty and jump right in with the pigs and everything. There is no in between. It is Lindsay the beauty queen and Lindsay the farmer girl, and I love it both. I love it both. And she deserves to be on stage even when she's in her ranch attire. And people gravitate to you, Lindsay, because like I said, you were backstage when I was saying it, but I think you could hear me. I was so intimidated the first day I met you because I knew you were going to be at the women's division and we were going to be talking about something. I don't know if you know this, but I ran right back to the office and told Sarah what I did. I was so nervous to meet you. I called you Mandy, Nick's sister's name, because I knew you were both beautiful women and I was so nervous. And now look at you. You give me pitchforks and let me clean your stalls and play with your pigs and love on them and everything. So thank you.
Well, it went both ways, honestly, because everybody had talked about you and built you up. And I mean, into this beautiful person that is exactly what you are. And so I was super intimidated and I was like, I think that's Jackie over there. So I think I was by Morgan at the meeting and I'm like, I think that's Jackie over there. And I really want to go say hi. And I was scared and you did it. And so I'm so glad that you did because you've become one of my favorite humans. And everything that everybody told me about you was like the truth and then some. So
I appreciate that. That is so funny. Isn't that weird? Nick, do guys do that when they're meeting a guy for the first time, or is that just a girl thing?
You know what? I meet so many people and I'll walk back to Lindsay and I'll be like, well, I think we're friends. You know, like I think we're best friends, or like I don't know how to meet people as an adult to become friends. You know, and most of my friends, you know, come here or come to my other organization. It's like I don't have a lot of people out there that I go play golf with or anything like that. So yeah, when I find a friend, it's like, I think I found a friend, you know?
I love that. I love that so much. And you've got a friend in me for the rest of your life. So I might not be a dude friend, but I'm one of yours. Yeah. So same question for you, Nick. 2 things that you are proud of yourself. And again, do not say picking a beautiful woman. We're not going there for your 2 things. This is just.
I'd never do that. I'd never do that.
Never.
You know, just... You know, my recovery journey, you know, my family can attest to this. Like they did everything for me to try to, you know, I went to every treatment center they could send me to, you know, all the good ones, bad ones in between, and all the, you know, they gave me the best opportunity to, you know, succeed. And, you know, the fact that I actually stuck with it long enough, and, you know, I would always give up, you know, things would get hard, I'd give up. Things would, you know, I would just, you know, work would get hard, I'd give up. And, you know, so I always talk about this at Life Align at our other organization, or my other organization in Muskegon. You know, it's like we're looking through these paper towel rolls. You know, some people got a Christmas wrapping roll, some people got a toilet paper roll, some people got a paper towel roll. Like our darkness is different, you know, and we stay in that darkness, you know, for who knows, it's up to us. So a lot of times, like, so the fact that I stuck with this when I had no, you know, my mom died, everybody kind of stepped away from me and I was forced to kind of do it on my own. You know, I didn't go to meetings. I didn't do any of that recovery stuff that they tell you to do because I've done it. I've been down. I knew what I needed to do. Stop drinking, you know, but I would never stick with it long enough. And it was always when my mom was alive, like the reason, you know, and I say this a lot too, that, you know, she was my biggest fan, you know, the first love of my life, all the things, but she would never let me fail, you know, never let me fail, you know, and to be, you know, when I don't know where I would be now if she would still be alive, because I would still, every time I fail, she would be there to catch me or send me to another treatment center or send me here or send me there. And it was like, when she passed away, that was like, for my own recovery, that was like the best thing that ever happened to me. You know, it was like, I don't know where I would be today if don't know what kind of dad I would be, if I would have anything that I feel, I almost feel like I'd be the same if my mom was still alive. You know, it was like, she loved me to death. And, you know, she would have gave her life for me to be sober. And in a weird way, I feel like she did. She knew I was going to be okay. You know, she knew that I was going to be okay because she was worried about me until she took her last breath. Like worried about me and my sister and wondering what were going to happen. And, you know, so like when I look back on things like that, I see my mom, like always a caregiver, always worried about everyone else. Like until her dying breath, she did not get to relax and like think of where she was going or any of that stuff. So, you know, when I think about where I am today, it's like a lot of those, that's the fuel that I have sitting back there. I don't really reflect on the past a lot, but I save those things that help me move forward today and give me a reason why. You know, why I chose to drink when she was dying, like I have no idea, you know, and now all of a sudden it's unfortunate that she passes away, and it's like, oh, now I have the life that I've always wanted, you know. And people are like, oh, she's looking down on you, and it's like, I don't believe that. I feel like she's right here with me. Like I look at her and I see her the same way she used to stand when I look at my son. You know, my niece, she rubs her feet together like my mom used to, and so my mom is still very much here, and it's like I don't miss her like on her death days and her birthdays and things like that. But I'm able to be there for my family now because they weren't able to be there. Like I wasn't able to be there when she passed. And, you know, we had to have someone else speak on my mom and all this stuff. And it was like, you know, I wish that would have been me, you know, up there. And, you know, so now I try to be that person for, you know, my family in a different way, because they still picture her being, I mean, they feel her around, but they picture her sitting up there and looking down, and, you know, I feel her and see her everywhere. So yeah, I miss her, but I mean, she changed my life, you know. And when we were asked the other day, like, what would you do? You know, could you bring your mom back or whatever? And it's like, I don't know if I could. I don't know if I would. You're like, well, I don't know. You know, it's like my life has changed dramatically so much since that day. Like I talk about, like, that was my fork in the road. That was that was the main fork that is like, we have all these different forks in the road everywhere we go all day long, but this was like one that meant the most. And I took the right path, and I continue to take the right path. And yeah, I'm just glad that I stuck with it, because, you know, I never did. So that was one thing that I'm proud of, you know. And, you know, I'm proud of having I have a great team at my other organization in Muskegon, Life Align. Like I would not be able to do the things I've done out here without the support of them and the hard work that they put in. And then the, you know, encouragement of, like, you know, one day I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know, you know, but I want the people at Life Align that are there to take over and move up, and, you know, not just stay in the positions they're in. I want them to kind of take over and run that. And, like, who knows what we're going to do in the future. You know, there's so many things to, you know, I don't want to just stop with what we're doing now. I want to continue to try to help people in ways that, you know, people may not think. So just proud of my team that I have in Muskegon. Like I would be nothing without the, you know, the years that I couldn't even pay them, where I would just pay them out of my pocket and do, you know, try to take care of them in ways that and just promising that this was going to work out. And one day that, you know, we're going to have jobs doing this. Yeah, I'm just proud of all of them too.
I love that so much. So for those of you that are new to Nick and Lindsay, Nick actually founded a recovery center. So it's a drop-in. They have classes, they have Sober Saturday events, they have food, where people in the recovery community can actually have support and not feel ostracized in the community. And it's a huge powerhouse in our community, because, you know, one of your taglines is recovery for any means necessary. I know I screwed that up a little bit. And they talk about fighting demons. And it doesn't say you're bad because you use this substance, or this substance is worse than this. It is whatever your recovery needs are, they have this. And from that, you guys started the ranch. So if you hear him say Life Align or Life Align Recovery Ranch or out here, that's what the definition is. And in just a minute, they'll talk a little bit more about those things as well. So thank you, Nick, for that. So I just want to shout out that we got our girl Teresa in the house watching you too. Sending all the love.
Hey, girl.
Another person friend that we have. We love her to death too. So Nick, I'm going to go to the second question for you. Even though you've done so much, and I loved you talking about your mom and how you can feel her next to you, and you have changed the lives of so many human, not just your staff that now get paid, but people that have literally stayed sober because they know there's other opportunities. They know it's not just going to AA. It's not just this kind of therapy. It's not just this stuff. You have done tremendous things. And my guess is even before you started drinking or during your drinking days, you probably helped a lot of humans, because that's the type of person you are. But even no matter how much we do in life, we need to keep learning. We need to keep growing. We need to keep elevating ourselves, or this thing is just like not going to work so well. What is something you're willing to share with everybody that you are still growing in or learning about yourself, or something you're working towards?
You know, when you're in recovery, there's little pieces that you pick up on that you carry from your old self a lot of times. And you guys were talking about Dancing with the Stars, and like that was a big one for me because yes, I do love to be the center of attention, but I love to be the center of attention on my own terms. So like when I got voted into doing this Dancing with the Stars, it was like, oh my God, like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like my introverted self or my extroverted self was making decisions for my introverted self. And it was like, I was talking to Mary Kendall and I'm like, oh yeah, I'd love to do that. And I got off the phone and I'm like, okay, I still have 6 months. I'm like, I'm good. But that experience, as much as I thought that I've changed and I don't care what people think, and, I can go up on and talk to people and not even worry about it. There was those little things where I'm like, oh my God, I can't get up on stage and do this, and I was still, that's like, whether it doesn't have anything to do with drinking or doing drugs or anything like that, but it's those little pieces that kind of hold on to our old self that keep us safe, and it's like, that was my, like, don't look at me, don't, but look at me, kind of in a, I didn't want to show, like I almost fake it till I make it. And I just kind of do it. I don't get scared. I don't think about what I'm going to do. I just kind of do it. But like for that experience, there was no faking it. I had to get out there and dance. I had to do all the stuff. And like it changed something inside me. And I talk about this all the time with people that are around me. That little piece of like caring what people thought. Like, and now I feel like after doing that, I don't care. I'll get up on, like, I don't care. Like, and so just those little pieces of my old self, like you got to watch out for it because, like I say that I work with people all the time where I'm like, if you come here every single day and you work with me and you do exactly what I say, I will help you stay sober. It's those people that, are like, oh, Nick told me to be here at 9. I got nothing to do with alcohol, nothing to do with drugs, nothing. But if you're going to stop and you need to get a Monster at the gas station real quick, but you're cutting it close, you're in the wrong, that's the wrong thought right there. Like, come to meet me first and we can go get your Monster or whatever you want to go get. It's those little thought processes that lead us back. And it's the ones that once you become aware of those things, like I constantly am looking for those things to become, to not become better. Like I'm going to but those little mind tricks that where you're like, oh, yep. Because if you don't heal upstairs and you just put the drugs and alcohol down, then you're just somebody that doesn't use drugs and alcohol. You need to do the full circle healing process. And if you don't do that, then, and I can't even explain what that feeling is. When you get to that feeling and you have that like aha moment, like I can't explain what leads you to that. Like I cannot tell somebody what gets you to that point. But I tell you, when you get to that point, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's, that's just where those are the things that I look out for.
And I love that because when you get to that point, you start realizing you can learn more, you can do more, you can accomplish things that your other brain never told you could, or that alcohol or drugs said, not for you, that life isn't for you. And when you get to that point that you realize your value, anything is possible. And we've seen that. I think about, Jordan at your office, and I think about like, I didn't know him, but he was a kid from, our school. I was on school board when he was there, and my daughter was in the same, grade and everything like that. And to think he's leading groups now, he is changing the lives of other humans, not just as peer support, but actually as leaders. And that wouldn't have happened under just anybody if his brain wasn't ready to learn, and I just love that so much. And I thank you so much for giving that option. So, Miss Lindsay, what are you still growing in and learning, even though you can rock a runway and you can dance and you can rope a horse and all? I don't even know if that's a term anymore, but all the things. Sling a pig. How's it?
You do it all.
All the farm stuff.
Yes.
I think really for me, it's kind of a spinoff of like what Nick was talking about. So I lived so many years worried about like doing what my parents said was the right thing to do, making the choices that they thought were the best for me, and then really being in like survival mode. And I was so unhappy that I was really reactive and was kind of a yelly mom, and just, people that were closest to me would kind of get like this wrath, like where everything would bubble up in me. And so learning to be proactive instead of reactive, and like how can I be better in my reactions and healthier in my reactions. Like even today, for instance, I don't know if I should bring this up or not because it gets me a little fired up, but somebody stopped by here and said that people are complaining that we have a Narcan box on our premises. And
That we're bringing all the
And
drug
that we're
addicts
bringing-
into town. And
Well, and this person doesn't use terms that are appropriate for the people that we're servicing. And that's really heartbreaking to me. And he didn't give me a chance to say, you know, anything about why we have the Narcan boxes and how people that Nick and I love so very much wouldn't be here if it wasn't for access to Narcan. And so I kind of got like a little bit fired up and I really wanted to just rip a face off, you know, but it was breathing through it and thinking, okay, well, you know, it's a small town. People don't know what they don't know. So how can we use that as a education piece and teach people about why we have the Narcan boxes and why it's important and that it's not this horrible stigma that people think that it is. We're not inviting people to use drugs, but if they are, have access to something that can save your life. And maybe that's going to be the turning point for you. If it has to be utilized to save your life or to save somebody that's close to you. No, you know, we don't want to see anybody lose their life because of the decisions that they're making. So I guess that's a long answer for where I'm growing, but just trying to be more proactive and thinking through my reactions before just acting on a dime and how can I use it in a positive way.
Oh, girl, that's about as positive as you can get, is educating people like that without, okay, so instant, we want to just attack him and rip his face off, right? That's the response he probably expected when he pulled onto your property to say all that. And so you being able to talk, educate, kick him out, whatever you did in a positive way, that right there is a learning lesson for that person. And they may not change altogether, but it starts kind of like what I was saying before you guys came on stage about pride and the person that I was talking to on Saturday, like, well, why should I celebrate that they're wanting to be with somebody of the same gender? I don't do it. They can just do it by themselves. I don't need to celebrate. I'm like, no, it is one of the highest rates of murder and, unaliving yourself is when you're in the community, and being able to celebrate people that are diverse and different than you is life-saving. It is not about saying, oh, I want to do exactly what you did and you're so great because you're addicted or because you're in this lifestyle. No, it's not about that. It's saying you are still a worthy human and your life is just as valuable as mine. I don't care what your title is. I don't care what city you're from. I don't care what faith you have. We were put on this earth for a reason, and it's way bigger than any of us know what our reason is. And until our dying breath, we still have a reason to make an impact. And sometimes it is being able to survive horrible things and letting other people know they can get through it. So I love that. And proactive is amazing, but sometimes your response needs to be that natural, that raw. And that's when people realize that we're not just scripted. We're not just out here saying this stuff just because we have nothing else to do. Okay, now for the fun question. And then we're going to turn it over to you guys talking about what you want to share. I want to see some comments for these lovely humans in the actual comment box, guys. They are going to talk and talk. But if you have something to say, if you are struggling with somebody that needs recovery in your own community, if you are not sure about why do they do animals and recovery at the same time, they're going to talk about that or ask them questions. You deserve to get lit up about this. Our City of Muskegon Commissioner, thanking you guys for all you do in the community.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you, Jay. We appreciate you so much. You know, it is so important to recognize all the good that every human can do when we work together. And that's the whole reason I do this show. So thank you guys for being willing to come on here. And even if one person looks at recovery a little different after tonight, so worth it. Because that one person is going to trickle out to so many other people. So now let's not talk about what was it? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, that's the thing. Like when Lindsay was talking about the gentleman that came here, it's like, you know, it makes me sad to think if he has somebody like that in his family, that's how he treats them. And it's like, because, you know, a lot of people that see recovery, it's like they already know what recovery looks like. It's a bunch of people around a table sitting talking about all this stuff. And it's like, I like to point out that recovery is not like that anymore. Like you know, they show it all stuffy on TV. Like we were just watching a movie the other day where the guy had to go to AA and he walked in and it's not like that. Recovery is not like that. It's not as dry as people think. And I feel the same way. If I walked by my building and I was still in active drinking, I'd be like, nope, I know how them people in recovery are. I am not going in that building. So people actually keep themselves from walking in our building. And when they finally do and see the couches and the TVs and the game systems and things like that, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I came here 4 times and never came in. And creating that fun and recovery is like what people need,
Yes, we need to feel like humans, not just what our worst days look like or what we've done to ourselves or other people have done that led us to do stuff like this. And so thank you for saying that, Nick, and I appreciate that so much. So if you guys could travel anywhere in the world, I'm not saying you have to go together, but you could if you want. Where would be one of your top destinations right now, Lindsay?
It would be together, and we are manifesting this trip right now, actually. We've been talking about this since I think day one.
It was before day one, because the day we met, we like talked on the phone for 4 hours, and I was talking about, man, I just want to go on a vacation. And, I was explaining this trip I want to go on. And man, she's like, if this man says where I wanted to go, she's like,
I'm marrying him.
Yeah. And so, yeah, she can tell.
I've always, and it's so simple and not even that far away, but just taking a train across the country and just seeing all the sights and ending up at the Redwoods. Like there's just something so magical and mystical and beautiful and serene about the Redwoods to me. And so that was the place. I was like, if he says Redwoods, he's it for me.
And then I just added on to it and even made her fall even more in love with me. Because I said we're gonna go up the coast and then go to Lake McDonald and then see all the stones and the gems and stuff that they have in Lake McDonald, and then come back around through Canada and back to Holland or wherever. But like that's been a dream of mine for a long time, and it's like with a lot of the dreams that I've had, and we share the same.
That is amazing. So I know that Lindsay chased you, but I did not know that it was because you wanted to do the Redwoods too. That is amazing.
Yeah, she did chase me.
It was not a chase. It was not a chase.
Yeah, she did. I didn't even pay attention. I was too I told myself, I said 6 years ago, I told myself, I said, I am not, my whole story is I would always focus on girls, always be like, in my worst, like it was like I was in the worst shape of myself, but I like had the most friends in my life, and it was like, that was kind of my story, but I would always find a girlfriend and always, and it was like my son was born, my mom died. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to focus on because everyone stepped away from me after my mom died. And they were like, we're not going to watch Nick drink himself to death. And, I was kind of resentful for that, but I feel like I needed that at that point. Like, how dare you guys step away from me? Oh my gosh, brain fart.
Well, I am going to turn, while you're coming back to that thought, I'm going to turn you guys to the big screen so you guys can take it from there. Talk about anything. If you need to talk about farting or anything like that, you go right ahead, Nick, okay? But I'm going to do that, but I'm also going to bring up a couple pictures of the ranch while you're thinking about that, okay? So look how cute Lindsay is holding a baby cow. I mean, seriously.
I love that you were here for that moment. That was so magical.
I found it.
Well,
you found it, but you didn't know what the heck the weight thing was by the big cow.
No, I was too busy on what I was an animal that was already out of the fence. So
not ours.
No, it was ours.
But how great was it that we just, because Chris was leaving at that time until we heard Nick say that, and then we all take off running. Lindsay grabs up this cow and boom, I got this shot. It was like the coolest thing in the world. And then, of course, I kept referencing pigs. So this is my daughter. You guys that watched an earlier episode got to see Operation Solo when she was on there. They got baby pigs sometimes, guys. They got baby pigs. And oh my gosh, they are the cutest little thing. And Nick, sometime when you guys are talking, you got to talk about your love of pigs and how that happened, because I love your Wilma so much. So much. Isn't she the best? And
700 pounds of pure love.
Literally.
And she doesn't know how big she is. She's totally like if she was in the house, which she's never been yet, but
tried to climb on your lap.
She would be on the couch. Yeah.
I guarantee that. Guys, you guys are so spectacular. You're so amazing. You share your ranch with so many people. I'm like, Lindsay, you're going to have to put some boundaries on time. People come out there because you got work to do, because this is a working farm. If you guys have never had even a pet in your house, can you imagine having, what are you guys up to, like 80, 90, 100 animals if you count it every
chicken? We probably have 200 if we count the chickens.
Oh my gosh. And every one of them want food, and they need a pen cleaned out, and they need to be groomed. Some of them need to be groomed, and some of them need to get their babies taken care of and their hooves clipped and all the things. So, guys, you are spectacular and amazing. I'm going to turn it over to you now. Share for the next maybe 15 minutes or so. I will put up if I do see any questions, but everybody's just giving you love and they're thanking you right now. So, just going to let you guys kind of talk about what's on your heart tonight. What do you guys want to share about your ranch, about you two, about life, recovery, any of the things? Any of the things. And Lindsay, don't just let him talk.
Okay. I won't. I'm only going to talk for 1 second because Teresa, I remembered what I was going to say. But Lindsay chased me. Like, so I was only focusing on my son and what I was doing at Lifeline. I wasn't going to let anyone come and jeopardize that. And, you know, once I found my safe place, like that I loved myself for once, like I didn't want, and since I started Lifeline, you know, I've been telling everybody, like, not focusing on girls, not doing this, just Owen and Lifeline. And all of a sudden this person comes along, you know, and messages actually the day before and asking if she could come to yoga, for if normal people can come to yoga. And I'm like, oh yeah, of course, normal people can come. And so she comes. Well,
wait, he double dog dared me to come.
I double dog dared her to come.
So there's that.
But then she came and the yoga instructor, I totally forgot we didn't have yoga that day. So she ended up getting one of her friends that doesn't go and do anything at the time out of the house and got her there and whatever. So since that day, like I messaged her that night, and that was the night we started talking forever because I just wanted to apologize again and hope she comes back. And but I didn't like girls at all, you know. So like when she left that day, I told my sister was there because she came and did yoga too, and I was like, man, I like that blonde one. And she looked at me like, you don't like girls, like, you know, because I haven't talked. She was so used to me forever having a different girlfriend and having a new girlfriend, and for once I did it. And I said, if a girl comes into my life, she better be so, like, I put a girl out there that liked to look for rocks, that loved my son as much as I did, that was going to come into Lifeline and just start helping out and doing all this stuff. And that's exactly what she did. Like I made this perfect girl so like unattainable that all of a sudden now here I am having to tell people that, oh my God, I like this girl. So it was like
it was a lot of months.
It was a lot of months that she would just come and, you know, I would have Amazon boxes piled at the front door because she was decorating the whole office with like Halloween stuff. And like this girl just would not go away, you know? And so eventually I was like, man, I like this girl. So I ended up we went out on a date. Like I asked her if she wanted to go on a date or whatever. And, I don't think she still thought that it was anything more than just me taking her out to breakfast or whatever. And, you know, when we got done, I'm like, man, I was thinking the whole time, like, I got to kiss this girl. I just got to kiss her. And, you know, so afterwards, like, and we're standing in the parking lot at the brunch house and I'm like, I mean, it might've been like 9:22. I don't know what time it was in the morning, but, I put on chapstick and she liked me right then. So then we've been together ever since.
And in all fairness, for the people that know Nick, he is very in touch with his feminine side. So it was really hard to tell, were we just becoming besties or something more? So it was a lot of hanging out and really establishing a great friendship before anything happened. And I think that was a magical thing in itself.
Right. And like me being raised with like a sister that, you know, like I feel like every guy should be raised with women. You know, because like I was never the type to be the forward one. Like even in my drinking days at the bar, like I would never like go and be the front man and try to, hey girl, you know, like I was never like that. So even when I liked her, it went back to that same way where I didn't know how to tell her that I liked her. You know, it was just easy for her to come to the office and hang out and, you know, like, and what happened when we finally ended up becoming a couple or whatever was that our kids were hanging out as us just being friends when really we were making out behind the scenes, but the kids were hanging out and all the stuff. So like the way that we even blended the kids, like they were brothers from the beginning, you know? So it's just a cool kind of, you know, the way that they always tell you that like, kind of, I just let it play out and, you know, it's like I found my best friend. We, you know, like I was going to say we don't argue, but like today I came home and she was wanting to get another horse. And I'm like, I didn't have to argue. I just gave a look like, are you freaking kidding me? Like I'm gone for a shift and, you know.
They eat almost the most amount of money on your farm.
I did say that
but
we were able.
He has 40 pigs. I feel like
that's true.
I have 12 horses.
Okay.
But it's not a race. So Gregory is up in Canada, and he is an amazing supporter. He comes to the show every single Monday, and he has been on stage more than any other guest has ever been here. He is a HR professional and focuses on his neurodivergency and helping other people with their neurodivergency. He wants to know if you got a bull on your ranch.
We have 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We have 2 Highland bulls and 1 Charolais bull.
And we've actually been like, and another thing about us is that we don't charge for any services here. So, sometimes like we have people that'll come and bring we had a Holstein cow, which is one that looks like a white and black and typical milker cow, come and wanted to, get and mate with one of our bulls. And we were just like, you pay for the food for the month that it's here. And like, we'll, so doing things like that too, where we tell people that their services are free. They're like, what? Like, what do we have to do? And a part of that is because, like I said earlier, my parents had the ability to send me to all these different places. And it was like, I didn't realize how important me being a dollar sign was until I got sober. And now I'm trying to help people that now I can't get help because you are a dollar sign, And so I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do this in a way where we can offer all of our services for free, but figure out a way to make us be sustainable, And it was like, and it's not one of these where it's like, oh, yep, we're going to be free for a minute until we get you hooked. No, it's not like, we invite every family. Like, you don't have to be in recovery to come here. You can just be a family of 4 looking for a place to go that you don't want to go spend at another place hundreds of dollars just to bring your family. So the intimacy that you get to have here too, where, you go to a petting zoo or whatever and hope that the cow comes to the fence, like where you can go lay down in the pasture with our animals if you'd like, so the experience is just a little more intimate here. And we get to know a lot. Like, I can go around I walk people around our animals all the time, and there's a story of every single animal. And, and I can go back and tell you stories about every individual that came here on, how they felt or what their experience was, or, sometimes come out of their shell and unload that they can relate, so.
Will you share, Nick, will you share your experience at the farm that you went to and how you became in love with pigs and why you have 40 now?
Yeah. No, totally. I didn't know where I was going. That was the first treatment center I ever went to that Judge Close was like, you're not dying on my watch. You're going to treatment. I would just keep, you go from being an alcoholic that's dependent on alcohol all day, every day, to all of a sudden now you're in trouble and you can't drink. It was like, so I snuck. And, eventually I got sent, because every time I went to jail, it's like I knew I wasn't getting out. Like, Judge Close just had my number. And so my parents found this treatment center over in Ann Arbor called Dawn Farm. And it's actually just outside. It's just outside Ann Arbor and Ypsilanti. Just amazing. I didn't know what I was going to. I thought I was going to an alcohol treatment center with just a bunch of alcoholics, and that's all it was. And, we showed up at this meeting down this kind of windy driveway like we have here. And, I came to Dawn Farm, and it was the first time that, what their goal is to hook everybody up into AA in Ann Arbor. And Ann Arbor has the biggest number of young people in recovery in the nation. So there's like 1,000 meetings in and out of Washtenaw County every day, to support people. So, when we pulled up to that very first meeting that we went to in Ypsilanti, it was like everybody was outside smoking cigarettes. They had the goth kids over here. They had the popular kids. It was like, so I asked where we were, and they said I said, are we at a youth? Is this a youth group? And they're like, no, this is the meeting. And it was the first time, and I get goosebumps now because it was the first time that I saw people that looked like me, talked like me, acted like me. I'm like, I am never leaving this place. Like, we don't have anything like this over here in Muskegon. And so that is one part of it. But the farm, so they have a farm with not quite as many animals as we have, but they had pigs there. And, there was this one big old pig named Tina that was kind of like Wilma, but she was bigger than Wilma. And, I would just sit on her. I would sit on her shoulder and just rub her head and talk to her. And, it was just something that, I told myself, I'm like, if I can ever pull myself out of where I'm at right now, if I can ever have a successful life one day, like, I'm going to have a place like this that can help people. And, so to hold on to that dream and I had that same experience with my first, the reason why my other organization exists is because I had that same thing. Like, I didn't see, my recovery didn't look like and didn't feel like what I read in a book or what I saw on TV. So like having these different experiences, like being on a farm and all that stuff, I'm like, this is, so with Life Align, I'm like, you know what? My recovery doesn't look like this, sitting around and everybody's somber and how are you feeling today? Like, I didn't want that. And so I had that same feeling about how, when I started Life Align, of like, you know what, if I can ever pull myself, I'm going to have a clubhouse for people to just come to, and they can, come to groups. And if they don't want to come to groups, that's fine. Like, we don't shove people into recovery and force it. We are recovery focused. So like, eventually we want to see you on a path. But like shoving recovery down your throat, and this is what it looks like, and this is the path. Like, we don't do that at Life Align. We just want you to come and see that recovery isn't like what you think. So
I love what you had said a minute ago about, and yes, Gregory, they do have donkeys. They do not have any ox, I don't believe. And Omar, you're just a minute late. I showed a handful of pictures of some of their animals. Go to follow their Facebook, their Insta, or their TikTok, Life Align Recovery Ranch. Oh my gosh, the pictures and the videos. They post videos of the critters. It's so cool. So amazing.
Lindsay's so great.
She does so. Yeah, she does, because she doesn't even have time to be doing that because she's got so many animals to take care of, but she does anyways, and it's amazing. You can also learn how to adopt one of their animals, and you can help them stay so it's free for the families and stuff. But you talked about, Nick, that you welcome families to come experience your animals even if they aren't in recovery, which is huge. We do want you guys to connect with Lindsay and make sure it's an okay time to visit, because they also got to do other things with their family and things like that. But the fact that you do that, do you realize you're actually preventing people from going down the path of substance or self-harm? Because when we build community at a young age, or before a problem happens, before a lifestyle change, before trauma happens to somebody, you build community. They know there's support. They know they could go back to you if in 6 months, in 2 years, something happens. They know about that. It's different than people that go into, they have a trauma, they have some kind of substance issue, and they just think that they're all by themselves and that they can't reach out. And so you doing that is absolutely part of your mission. And so if you need something in your grant that says you can be available to everybody, it's because you are actually doing some of that prevention that nobody even thinks about. We just hustle, 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 and then blame people when they are in addiction. We don't think about what could have been prevented, what could have led up to that. And so much is it caring about fellow humans, making sure their basic needs are met, being aware when they have a trauma, being aware when life changes for them, and supporting them early on and not just waiting until it's full-blown addiction. So thank you so much for sharing that. Love it. I mean, I love what you guys do so much. Still a few more minutes. Lindsay, what's on your heart right now? What do you want to share?
Well, I just wanted to share that we don't necessarily look at recovery as just substance use disorder. So we're all in recovery from something in some way, shape, or form, whether it's a trauma or what else do we got? Just any kind of life adversity,
PTSD, veterans, children, special needs.
Life adversities really is what we try to help everybody with. So
just lack of income nowadays,
Right. So recovery we look at as all encompassing. So it doesn't matter what you may or may not be in recovery from. We just want to open our space to people and have it be a safe, peaceful space for people to hang out, spend some time, whether it's helping us care for the animals. We offer community service. We have volunteer opportunities. We love to educate people on how to care for the animals. We have a lot of people that come out here that maybe want to have a farm someday, but they don't even know where to start. And so we can show them some of the basics of doing that. And we're also open to ideas that people may have, like collaborating on different things. We've got a guy right now that we're talking to about, he wants to do honeybees. And I love that idea, but I'm so intimidated by it. I'm so intimidated by it. So I'm like, if you do the research and you come up with a really good game plan, like we're here to support that. And we have the space to offer. I've planted a bazillion wildflowers. We had a volunteer just plant a ton of sunflower seeds. So it's a space that we want people to make their own too.
Yeah, like him coming here and just presenting that idea. It's kind of like what I do at Life Align, where it's like, if you come with a group idea and, you're in a position where you can run that group, like I'll let you run that group, and just build people up that way. And it's like, sometimes you don't even realize what you're doing when you give somebody that opportunity.
And people really need a purpose. I mean, for me, that was a lot of healing from my trauma, was finding something that made me want to get out of bed every morning. Like, yeah, I had to get out of bed and take my kids to school. Like something that you just have to do, but what do I feel passionate about? What makes me want to keep going, and what is going to help me take care of myself too? So finding that with people that come out here too, like if you want to learn about gardening, or if you want to learn how to make goat's milk soap or whatever, like if that's something that's going to be passionate, but then also potentially create an income for you too. You know, sometimes people that are in recovery have to check. I mean, and you don't even have to be in recovery. You can just be a human that has to check that awful box of, yep, I've committed a felony, and people are already going to look at you and say, nope. So then you're working a job that you hate. Life has so many things going on in it that make you, I don't know, that are just stresses. And so like, what can we find that makes you want to get out of bed every day and be happy about what you're doing and give you a purpose, fuel your passion? So yeah, that's a lot of what we're doing out here.
I love it so much. You guys do so much. You do so much good. There's so much else. Guys, this show is about highlighting people that you want to learn about. You want to connect with them. You want to follow their pages. They do have a website as well. It's just like Feline Recovery Ranch, right? .com, I believe.
.org.
.org. Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. But seriously, follow them. They are helpful. They are willing to share. We had a couple weeks ago, we had Dr. Aaron Kinzel as a guest. He actually is working towards raising money for a women's farm on the other side of the state. So if you guys don't know him yet, I'll connect you guys, because he feels that same way about so many women, especially in the urban area, don't get to experience the welcoming, nurturing experience with animals and gardening and all the things. And so what you guys are doing in West Michigan is groundbreaking. You know, we don't have that. Everybody that has an animal, it's either their personal farm or you got to pay a whole bunch of money to go see them. You are literally doing something life-changing. And guys, I got to tell you, come visit West Michigan, especially during this time of year. You can visit their farm. You can see Lake Michigan. You can visit all our cool things that we have going on. It is worth your time. I mean, these humans are amazing. They are so amazing that the community selected them just the other day as winners of the Changemaker Award from our local United Way. They are being recognized, and they literally just, boom, came out of nowhere. Life Align had been around for a while, and then all of a sudden, whoa, there's a ranch and a woman at the same time, and look at them go. They are changing lives. Guys, thank you for all you do. Thank you for, I mean, I've came out and volunteered a couple hours at a time a couple times. You do this every day, taking care of your animals. And if there's no volunteers, it's all on you. And you're running your business, Nick, and helping so many people. And you're trying to, you know, keep your life yourself just exciting and wonderful as you grow your families. But you're willing to give back to so many others. And even taking this hour tonight to be with us, and people that'll watch this on the replay, they'll be like, oh my gosh, how do they even get time to sleep? You guys are amazing.
The only reason that I'm able to manage all my time like I'm able to, because I can't rush home fast enough from a long day at the office to get my farm clothes on.
Oh, I've seen you drive down apples sometimes. I'm going this way, you're coming. I'm like, he doesn't even know. I don't even need to wave to him.
And
he's on a mission.
If I wouldn't have done the healing on myself, like I wouldn't be able to, but it is so fun. And I'm able to I'm able to detect when I'm like getting fatigued or getting burned out or getting, like we have so many date days where it's just like date night, and we go and just like, it's not like we need to be here 24/7. I mean, yeah, we have a lot of animals, but we've got it down to kind of a science, how we make it flow to feed all the animals and to do all the stuff that, a lot of the things that the animals do, that Lindsay does. I don't even know what she does. Like, we can pull in the driveway. She can go in her barn. I can go in my barn, which I'm the farm hand, I call myself. But, and like meet back at the end of the night for dinner time and like totally know that she's getting whatever done and I'm doing, and she knows I'm getting it done. So, and another thing on how we met and when we bought the farm, like, I wish we had more for that story, because like,
but you guys are always welcome to come back, because
she didn't know that I was even able to pick up a tool. Like, I rented a house, she rented a house, like she didn't know, like, and then now we get this big old farm and it's like all this responsibility. And I definitely lived up to that.
Well, and I
want to say that, like, truly none of this would be possible if we did not have people that believed in us and volunteers that came out here every single day. We have the most amazing humans that show up and show out. And it's like, I'm so grateful for what they do to keep this place up and running. And they do things that I don't even know about. And we're so appreciative for that, because they don't have to do that, but they want to do that. And it means everything.
Yeah.
And it makes this place functioning and run smooth.
Without even having community service or needing to be here.
And it can be negative 20 degrees out, and they are out there with me, and I might be crying because a water line is frozen, and they're the ones that are talking me off the edge that we're going to figure this out. And it's just, I'm so grateful for the people that are involved in what we do. So grateful.
Mic drop. I mean, seriously, you guys are not just giving, you are recognizing. And that's what this world needs more of. We just need more caring humans. And we might not all be able to figure out how to do a ranch or how to help somebody in recovery or how to do all this great stuff, but we can be kind. We can be caring. We can support other people. We can follow their business page. We can tell people about, hey, do you know there's other ways to be in recovery? Do you know there's actually people that care about your life right now? That's how we make change. And guys, you are literally making change every single day. My heart is better because I know both of you. Oh, I love your animals, but I love you two first. You know, you two are amazing. Please let me know again how much I can support you guys, because I want to be there for you. Always thank your volunteers, because they are amazing. I love seeing that you don't have to do it all by yourself. But guys, make sure that you understand your impact on people, because it's not grandiose to think that. It's not being pompous to say that. You are literally doing what every single human should be doing, is caring about other people. So I can't thank you guys enough for being on the show. The hour goes by so fast. I wish we could talk for like 72 more hours, and you know we will, but not on camera right now. But I would love you guys to come back. I would love you to come back. Thank you. I love you both so much. I'm going to drop you down. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. I'm going to play the video, and then I will let you guys have your night back. I know you can't see the comments on LinkedIn, I don't think, unless you guys have an account that I don't know of, because I've stalked you guys and I can't find you. But you might be able to see some of the comments that are on the Facebook page. And I love you both so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you everybody for joining us tonight.
I told you it was going to be special tonight. These humans, this doesn't take having enough money to buy a farm. It does not take having the energy to be out in the stalls all day. It takes the heart. And what you may be able to offer is something that maybe they couldn't offer somebody. Maybe I can't offer that to somebody because I don't have that intention and that experience. Just be a caring human, and the world can change. Guys, next week, so powerful. We're going to have more people here from my community. So as you know, this is a global show. You can ask to be a guest on Just Jackson Guests from anywhere. I don't care if you own a farm, if you have a book, if it's your birthday, if you're looking for a job, if you have something you're passionate about that's not work related. This is not a jobs thing. This is a community life global diversity highlighting show, so that we remember we're all in this world together. Okay. So let me know if you're interested in being a guest. I am booking way out into the end of August right now, but next week, super special guests, 2 people also here from my town. One of them just happens to be going on a very important journey with me really soon. So that's going to be my little teaser. I will get that event posted either tomorrow or Wednesday. You're going to not want to miss this. This show happens every single Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It also is on replay on both LinkedIn and on YouTube indefinitely, and then on Facebook for about 30 days. Check out the great people that are here. See if it's something that you want to be a part of. But just showing up in the comments, just watching them, learning from them, may give you somebody that you can connect with that maybe you didn't know was out there for you. So I'm ready to end the show. Get ready to jump into William Rochelle's show right after this. If you're on LinkedIn or YouTube, check him out. Support other humans. Go friend and like other people that are on here too, because you deserve to be surrounded by great people. Thank you, Lindsay and Nick. I love you dearly. You guys were great. Thank you all for showing up in the comments. Have a great rest of your night and week. See you next Monday.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose Just Jacks and Guests. Jackie Hallberg has left the building. The category is prison reform. Prison reform. The category is diversity. The category is women's rights. Women's rights. company. Thank you for coming through. Just Jacks and Guests. The category is equal rights. Equal rights. The category is inclusivity. 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 The category is second chances. Second chances. We appreciate your company. Thank you for coming through. Jacks and Guests. The category is just Jacks and Guests. Just Jacks and Guests. Thank you for coming through. We appreciate your company.